Welcome to Heidi Relationships. Today, we'll read some more stories from Reddit. But before we start, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and maybe leave a comment down below. That would help the channel a lot. Thank you very much in advance.
The first one is titled, My Mom is Having an Affair with a Personal Trainer. So you found this out since mom have started to act weird lately. She started working out because she wanted to get into shape about a year ago. She worked maybe once or twice a week, but then she worked out from Monday to Saturday. Nothing unusual, but mom got very fit, and she started getting attention from guys. She was increasingly happier, which my dad had no problem with and seemed happy that she was happy. Mom started acting kind of weird. I asked dad before I found out if he felt mom had been acting weird, and he brushed it off and just said she feels good about herself and genuinely was happy for her. Mom has been more affectionate, and I was not sure what the hell was going on. She is not mom anymore and almost felt like she switched brains with somebody else. It was getting disturbing, and one day I got curious when she said she would late from work, and frankly it had been bugging me for months, so decided to bike over one evening to where she was working. The car was nowhere in sight, no lights in the building. Her workplace has 2 floors, and even checked the local parking garage, every damn floor, no cars. I decided to go home and could not sleep. This was a Friday, and then on Saturday I had confessed to a friend what I might be suspecting. He suggested I use the Find My iPhone app. I asked mom if I could borrow her phone to look something up since mine was not charged. She unlocked it and I enabled the app, and she had her Apple password stored on the computer. I used to be allowed to rent a movie on there when I was younger, so I knew the password to her Apple account. Anyway, she left for work, praying she did not turn off mobile data. I logged in and saw that the phone was nowhere near her workplace. Instead, she was in a neighborhood across town. I googled the address and found out a man lived there and searched for the name on FB. One mutual friend, guess who? And saw he worked as a PT at the gym where my mom went. Now I was fairly certain that something was not right. I screenshot the Find My iPhone map and the information. I had still no evidence she was actually cheating, but I felt I had enough. She had lied to dad about working late, and what the duck is she doing at her PT place on a Saturday night? Should I tell dad about this and show him what I have now, or do I keep digging because I am fairly certain she is cheating? I still have not confronted mom about it. I am of course gonna tell him if that's the case, but accusing mom of cheating when I'm not a 100% sure. But what other possible reason could she have for lying to dad and then being at her PT on a Saturday night when she was supposed to working late? And to all who judge me for digging, nope, not sorry. It was bugging me so badly I could not take it anymore. Update. Hey everybody, I decided to follow the advice and told my dad and showed him what I had of evidence. Mom came home and decided to let dad take it from here. She admitted to the affair, and I told mom what my role in all of this was and that I had suspected something was off for quite a while. I told dad he suspected something was off, but I was the one who told him. Dad was very calm, no yelling or screaming. He just calmly asked her what she wanted. Yes, I was listening. And then she said she wanted to try to save the marriage. She came up and talked to me, and I admitted my role in all of this and how I had suspected something was off for quite a while. Told her I was sorry, but you were acting very strangely, and it was driving me nuts. Mom just asked me why I did all of this. I just responded, funny, I was about to ask you the same thing. Dad does not deserve this, I said, and she said no, he does not, and she was sorry. I also explained how her behavior lately was getting on my nerves and how it was bugging me. You were never that affectionate. You started giving me a kiss on cheek, more hugging. Part of me wondered if you were taking drugs. So yeah, that was weird for me. I said, hell, even my friends thought you were acting strangely, and I got questions at school from people wondering what has happened to you. I am letting them figure this out now. I am doing okay with this, and if a divorce happens there is not gonna be a custody issue since I turn 18 in December. So, for me things will not change that much. Dad and I decided to go see a movie later in the evening. We saw Suicide Squad, had already seen it, but it was fun seeing it with him. Me and dad used to go movies a lot. He is a movie buff, and we had not been because of COVID, so it was fun seeing a movie with him again. All in all, my dad is gonna be okay, so am I. Dad made it clear to me, do not be mean to mom and treat her with respect. She is still your mom, and she loves you. Yet I said I will, and that was that. The next one is titled, My Sister, 20, animated / deepfaked a photo of our late grandfather, thinking our mom, 50, would love it. Instead, it made mom super upset, and now they aren't speaking to each other. Backstory, my mom's father died in a car accident when she was 16, so my sister and I never met him. My mom was an only child and a total daddy's girl, so she always made sure to tell us stories about him and keep him alive in our hearts. She only really had one good photo of him though, showing a serious, handsome man of about 40, and that photo has had a special place in our living room all of our lives. What happened? My mom's 50th birthday was last week, and we had a small gathering at home to celebrate. All week long, my sister said she found the perfect present for mom but said it was a surprise for me too and wouldn't tell me what it was. The party starts and we're all having a good time. Right before we're about to cut the cake, my sister says there's one more special guest about to arrive. She queues up her computer, turns on the TV, and there on the screen is the picture of my grandfather, but it's moving, blinking, and smiling. She used one of those programs, IDK what they're called, but you may have seen them with like talking Abraham Lincoln and singing celebrities, to add motion to the photo. The video was only about 15 seconds long, and the editing wasn't perfect, but to see this photo I had seen all my life move and actually smile was very cool, for me. However, my mom's demeanor instantly changed, and I could tell by her reaction that she was upset. She held it together in the moment and politely thanked my sister for the video, but very shortly afterwards she said she wasn't feeling well, left the party, and spent the rest of the evening alone in her room. I went to check up on her, but she said she wanted to be left alone and for me to entertain the guests. Without the guest of honor, the party fizzled out shortly afterwards. My sister, for her part, was stunned by the reaction, and also spent the rest of the night in a very noticeable sulk. That was Sunday, it's now Thursday, and neither of them have really spoken to each other since. My sister thinks mom overreacted and embarrassed her, and she's hurt that what was supposed to be a nice gesture totally backfired. I finally was able to talk to mom a little bit about it yesterday, and her feeling is that it was distasteful, but she didn't really elaborate beyond that, and I didn't want to push. I feel conflicted, because I see both viewpoints, how my sister thought my mom would like it, and how my mom thought it was creepy to see her dad alive again, but I'm not sure how to bridge the gap or get the two of them to reconcile the matter. The three of us are very close and have a great relationship, so it's hard to see them both so upset and distant. Is this just a time heals all wounds thing, and I should wait it out? Get them to sit down and talk to each other. My feeling is that mom wants my sister to apologize, but my sister doesn't think she did anything wrong. Thank you for reading and for any advice. This came out longer than planned, but I guess I just needed to share my feelings with someone. A user in the comments said, "So, I have a unique perspective on this. My mom died when I was 23. I have my own children now, that she never got to meet. We talk about her a lot and they're too young to share stories with, but they know her. I don't have any videos of her because it was right before cell phone videos became easily accessible and I lost all my voicemails from her when I switched carriers. One time, I did the photo animation myself. It was a lot. To see a face I hadn't seen moving, smiling, laughing in many years was unsettling. I cried and cried because it only made the pain worse. I will never see her do those things again and, as lifelike as that photo was, it wasn't her. When her face first started moving it was like an electric shock of pain and sadness. Your sister did nothing malicious, and honestly she doesn't need to apologize beyond maybe, I'm sorry that I didn't realize this would hurt you. I thought you would be so happy to see him again in a way, sister, and I never have. But also, keep in mind, this is a deep, deep wound for your mom, one that may never heal. She's not ungrateful, just experiencing a pain you might not understand." Another user said, "I'd encourage sister to apologize and explain her thought process on giving such a gift, really expand upon how she wishes she had got to actually see grandfather. I'd encourage mom to open up about what she is feeling and talk, explain to her that all shutting down and silent treatments will get her or burn bridges, but to expect there to be an outburst and lashing out, as that is what typically happens when repressed emotions are let out." The next one is titled, "Update, my sister, 20, animated/deepfaked a photo of our late grandfather, thinking our mom, 50, would love it. Instead, it made mom super upset, and now they aren't speaking to each other. I return with a happy update, but first wanted to thank everyone who contributed for their comments and suggestions, particularly those who replied with grace and compassion. I found it helpful to get impartial outsiders' view of the matter, and I read each and every comment. I hope to address a few recurring themes I noticed and update with what happened yesterday. Some comments have asked if my sister was filming or making her own video, and she was not. She's no content creator, but certainly a content consumer. I genuinely believe she was doing it from a place of caring and thought in her heart of hearts that mom would really appreciate it. However, as many suggested, she was definitely inspired by all the viral videos that showed people absolutely loving these kinds of photos, and in particular the hologram video Kim Kardashian got of her father for her birthday. She thought she was doing something to make my mom really happy, and the fact that it instead made her really sad was very jarring. Some comments came down hard on my mom for the silent treatment or punishing my sister, and I apologize for giving that impression. It's more like two usually chatty, vibrant people had been walking on eggshells around each other, likely out of a combo of awkwardness, pride, and shame. If you've ever seen the episode of The Simpsons where Bart shoplifts and Marge is a much more muted version of her normal self, good night, instead of good night and sweet dreams, my special little guy, it was exactly like that. It was hard to read the comments calling Mom manipulative or immature or an ice witch, or my sister a selfish soulless psychopath, since they are two of the world's sweetest people. Some comments suggested that maybe my mom's reaction might imply something more sinister about her relationship with her dad, hidden trauma, or that I don't know the whole truth about my grandfather. While I never met the man and of course only have a filtered perception of him, there's never been any indication from my mom, other family members, or friends that he was anything other than a good guy and loving dad who died very suddenly and, importantly for this discussion, very young. I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but my grandfather was 49 when he died, just a few weeks shy of his own 50th birthday. In addition to general, "Oh God, what have I done with my life?" angst that came with this milestone, this was also the birthday where Mom outlived him. I have to admit, I was embarrassed I didn't think about that until she herself brought it up. Anyway, yesterday morning, my sister approached me and asked if I had any suggestions about talking to Mom. We talked about how, hindsight being 20/20ths, she realized what a bad idea it was, and not just because of the reaction. She said something like, I wanted to create a new memory, without thinking about how they might mess with the old ones, and how a surprise like that in front of others was basically demanding a reaction one way or the other. Another relative at the party also piled on her about how it looked nothing like him, so she felt like was getting shat on from all sides. She wasn't sure if I was mad too and was hoping I'd go with her to talk to Mom, so she'd at least have one person on her side. I said yes, and using some of the language/suggestions I got here, I encouraged her to apologize, without trying to justify or blame, and see where that led. My sister approached Mom on her own and asked if she would be able to talk about what happened Sunday, if it was okay if I came too, and Mom said absolutely. There was a long period of silence, but before my sister could start talking, Mom said something like, "Let me explain why I've been feeling a certain way." Mom then explained how much anxiety she had around this birthday in general, of which we had no idea. She organized the party and thought being around friends and family would make her feel better, but she still had this general angst she couldn't quite put her finger on. And then the video, a very visible and literally moving reminder of everything she was trying to keep to herself. Apparently, everything was kinda okay up until the part where the video smiled. The last time I saw him smile was in my dreams, she said, and it brought up all the feelings she was bottling up, milestones missed, life unlived, stories unshared, and now someone forever young at 49 as she gets older and older. She had been trying not to think about him at all that day, and then, bam. She said she felt simultaneously 16 and 50 at the same time, and it was just too much to handle at the moment. She needed more time than she realized to process the feelings and didn't want to burden us with what she called her midlife mortality crisis. My sister then burst into tears and apologized and said she had been spending all week ashamed of herself for planning one of these gifts for someone else that's really for you kinda things. I'm summarizing and omitting a lot, and this was a conversation that lasted hours and hours. I think we all now understand what the other was feeling/trying to do was only out of love, but also that the unintended fallout caused hurt emotions all around that needed to be dealt with, which we are now trying to do. Thank you again for taking the time to participate and help me sort out some of my own complex emotions. As is often the case, a little time to process and a lot of honest communication was the key. I think we are definitely all in a much better place than we were when I posted, and I hope we all continue to learn from this, and maybe not look to the Kardashians for gift advice. The next one is titled, My 31F husband, 32M, doesn't enjoy sex with me. Yesterday me and husband were talking about our sex life, and he told me he doesn't like PIV with me. I was really hurt by that. I asked him if I was doing anything wrong and he told me that it wasn't me. He just doesn't have that much interest as he had earlier. He told me he liked the post-sex pillow hug and talking instead. He also said he isn't unsatisfied. He likes intimacy with me, just the PIV action is just okay, not mind-blowing. How is that possible? Like PIV is sex, right? If he is not enjoying that, how is he getting satisfied? And I absolutely love PIV. I am not very sensitive around my outside areas, so I need PIV to get satisfied. Moreover, we are together for so long he knows what to do, so it's always a good feeling for me. So yeah, I am feeling really depressed about this. I always thought our sex life was good, but looks like I am the only one who liked it. But one thing I don't understand is that he comes to, so how is he not enjoying sex? Is this situation fixable? Should I try to see if he has any fetish or not? Also, I feel like I am lacking something, which is why he is not enjoying, but on the other hand, he has also initiated couple of times. Was he forcing it to keep me happy? A user in the comments said, I'm not sure you're going to get the answer you need here, since your husband really needs to elaborate further about what he means. There'll be the usual good advice about communication and sex drives, but I would suggest going back to him and asking for a more thorough conversation. There are big differences between not enjoying sexual intercourse, not enjoying sexual intercourse, not enjoying sexual intercourse with a specific partner. Hell, it sounds from okay not mind-blowing that his interest in intercourse is waning and he's enjoying other kinds of emotional and physical intimacy more so. Another user said, I'd like to further point out that there's nothing wrong with the things he likes changing. It could be waning sex drive, but it could just be that he simply doesn't enjoy that part of sex anymore. Nothing wrong with it. Sex is different for every couple. PIV isn't the only thing you can do, and desires can change and evolve. I'm too young to give you an opinion based on more than just speculation and scarce experience, but, to me PIV felt like the lamest thing ever until my current GF convinced me otherwise. Point is, sex is about a connection, and there's nothing wrong with op or her husband just because he's not enjoying this kind of sex. The next one is titled, Update My 31F husband, 32M, doesn't enjoy sex with me. I thought I should share what happened after the post to you guys since I got so many helping replies. So first of all, one thing I realized was that I never thought that he might not like what I like in bed. I believed he was also enjoying as much and never properly talked to him about it. And then me and my husband had a long conversation about the issue. At first he was like there is no issues at all, so I asked him what part of our intimacy did he like the most. He told me he liked undressing me and seeing me naked the most, and then after sex cuddling as second. So basically, the specific PIV part was not liked. I asked him if he has any specific thing he wanted to introduce. He didn't have anything particular in mind, so I asked him to look it up with me. We read some online stuff about different kinks. He showed interest towards blindfolds and handcuffs, so we bought it. The next night we decided to try it out. He handcuffed and blindfolded me. Halfway through, he suddenly opens my blindfolds and tells me that it was even worse than before, so I thought it was a failure. Last night, I was thinking about some other stuff we can do when he came to me with the handcuffs, but this time he wanted me to use it on him instead. At first I was like WTF. But I decided why not, it won't hurt to try, so I handcuffed him, took the lead, and for me I enjoyed it. His reactions were amazing to watch. I did fumble a few times, but we reached the end. He also told me this was hugely better, so, yeah, looks like he was a submissive type. I myself am not a pure DOM, but I like to take to lead too. Otherwise reading or replies was a big help, so, thank you to all of you. I would also be happy to say he is not asexual or has someone else. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the relationship stories. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video and write a comment. I really appreciate your support and it helps my channel so much. Thank you.